Game number one. So we are in the losers bracket. We have our... Well, so technically it's not the first losers bracket match. It's the first losers bracket match that we actually have on stream here. The reason is fairly simple. There was a little bit of shenanigans going on with the schedule because some teams had problems, tech issues, where we were easily able to accommodate them to play at a different time. So that's why we did. So not all of the games are in the typical linear fashion, where you go through the winner bracket first and then slowly focus onto the lower parts. But, well, suffice it to say, we got the Munchies going up against the Quack team right now, and Dragonshire is our first map. So, game number one, poor Birdie is getting banned out over and over and over again. Maybe if they get a nice little cage for Falstad, they can lock him in there, because he's behind bars just game after game after game. And the Quack team earlier played a Stitches Kidnap combo. And ever since that happened, yeah, I suppose... Or, well, the Munchies watched that game, so they just said, you know what? How about we ban Medivh? Just simply ban Medivh out and see what we're gonna get there. Lucio is already banned. Haven't really seen him too much, to be absolutely honest with you. Not a lot of Lucio games throughout the playoffs so far. But yeah, we are in the playoffs. So playoffs, loser bracket, we are Division 2, Division 3 games that we're getting in this Underdog Cup right now. And so far, they've been extremely entertaining. We had awesome games, and I expect more good stuff here. Chromie is the first pick for the blue team. So let's see what they can do. And over on the right side, we got the Quack team then also with their early picks. Junkrat and Tyrael in this case. Once again, big shout out to Heroes Lounge for hosting this whole event together with me. And once more, a huge shout out to everybody that supports the stream down at patreon.com/Khaldor. We have a lot of really good supporters over there. Guys, again, thank you very, very much. Blizzard killed HTC 7 years ago, and without the support on the stream and for the channel, we wouldn't have been able to host as many tournaments as we have done since then. So I know I say it every now and then, but it always, you know, just seems like you're throwing out a couple of sentences. It really means a lot. It helps to keep the Heroes esports scene alive, helps us to host these tournaments and all of these events, and without you guys it just wouldn't be possible. So big shout out to everybody that has been a Patreon supporter or is interested in becoming a Patreon supporter. It is really appreciated, and it's the best way to support the channel and the stream and all of the events that we're doing here. So thank you very, very much. Garrosh and Sukov claimed for the blue team now, as we're heading into game number one. We're a little bit late to the Underdog Cup. A quick reminder that Heroes can only be played once. So after map number 1, all of the 10 heroes that you see being played cannot be played again. Garrosh can always start throwing some heroes into Stukov's lurking arm. That's especially what somebody like Tyrael has to be really careful about. Yeah, sorry for the occasional cough. I'm actually still sick. Decided to power through today and hope that I am not going to wake up in the morning and have a relapse. But I'm slowly getting better, but the cough is pretty difficult to shake right now. Which is very annoying because it's also impacting my training, aka I can't train. Heart rate, muscles, everything is perfect, and then it's just like lungs, throat, cough, and it shuts down everything that I'm trying to do. So, yeah. It is what it is. Either way, we got Anduin, we got Dehaka, and here comes Valeera for stab, kill. So in case that you missed it a bit, in the previous series, in the first couple of games, he didn't go for Valeera. Stab, kill is not... I don't want to say Valeera a one trick, but it's one of his priority heroes for sure, and his big preferences. And it got banned out towards the end of the series, so now we have the early Valeera pick, and let's see if that works. It's obviously an absolutely abysmal hero that doesn't work whatsoever when you're looking at the top level of play, but when we're talking about the amateur scene, even at the higher level, you can get away with this, especially if your team is absolutely used to playing it with you and playing around it. So let's see if that works out. We had some pretty decent games already from them, and maybe they can again use her to get victory, this time against the Quack team. Ladies and gentlemen, best of 3 series is kicking off on Dragonshire, and we're heading into our first map between the Munchies and the Quack team. Game on the left side. In blue, we got Griffiths on Urel. Milan Chromie, stab, kill on Valeera with a subtlety. Subtlety as a talent choice from a player that apparently glued his caps lock button into the keyboard. So yeah, so much for that. Brahms on Garrosh, and we got Mikaku on Stukov. Over on the right side, it is the Quack team in red with Valeera on Tyrael, Asway on Junkrat, Saren on Anduin, Angois is playing Sylvanas, and Vitters on Dehaka. So, let the games begin. Who's able to walk away with kill number 1? Are we getting a kill in the brawl here in the middle of the map? Maybe. There's the flip, and that is a dead Tyrael. Very well done. Insta follow-up from Valeera. All of that happening in tower range, and all of a sudden we are seeing Tyrael just Lauber completely. Pulls a full Lauber here. Dies. I mean, it's honestly... Is that a double Lauber already? I guess double Lauber is if he died twice before the 1 minute mark, but considering that he died essentially within the first 20 seconds, that is so impressive. It should have its own name. So, that was pretty neat. So, congratulations, I guess, to Tyrael for breaking more or less a record. It's not quite a record broken. I think the fastest that I saw someone die is Falstad flying in deep from home, flew in too deep, and got instantly blown up because they kind of anticipated that he would do that and just fired everything at that spot. So, yeah. It was a really, really long time ago. Might have even been in the days of HGC, but there the party continues. Once again, the silence combo, and Valeera is low. This time he gets away, but still, that's a lot of hit points lost. Oh, but a good isolation from for Stukov. So, yeah, Stukov is eating a couple of grenades. In comes the Chromie damage, and it is Shrine time. We're on Dragonshire, and it's time to battle for the first Dragonite of the game. Yeah, Brahms down here, also a bit low. Chronic conditions. Rumor has it, Chromie herself is classified as a chronic condition, and I can actually absolutely underline this. Shut up. Nobody asked you. They're just talking about you. Behind your back. So shush. Quick silence here against Tyrael again. Yeah, they're working well with stab kill over here. The name is still top notch. I love the player name. It's fantastic. Relentless strikes are in, and there's the double control, and what do you know? Valeera is already on it, Dehaka wants to interrupt, he's too late, and that's a Dragonite. 2 minutes and 20 seconds in. They sacrificed Chromie at the bottom of the map for the DK. You couldn't see it, but she actually tried to push out, and then Garrosh came in and just pushed her back into the shrine to give more channel time to Valeera. So they were just looking at each other, thinking about, hey, should we sacrifice ourselves? And then they're, what if we sacrifice something that is worthless and small and annoying? And then they saw Chromie, and they were like, deal, let's go. And they just simply killed her. So, yeah, Chromie died, Valeera had enough time to go for the channel, and was able to get the Dragonite for the team. So, nicely done. That brings us to more pressure at the bot lane, I guess. Even in the middle, they didn't destroy the entire wall. But now they have the shot to use the Dragon's Breath here also, with a little bit more momentum, and try to take this out. Valeera also had to rush away. Got a little bit close here for just a second, but yeah, she's still totally fine. Chromie on 12 stacks now. Is going into Bronze Talons here on level 7. Started all of this off with once again the first time. And Valeera now followed up on level 7 with Mutilate. So, both of the teams still level 7, each team got a kill, we get that early Dragonite. If you get one this early, obviously it's not very strong yet, so you have to be a bit cautious on what exactly you can do with it. If you're destroying a couple of walls, that's most of the time the best that you can hope for. Oh, they can hope for another kill though, and they get it! So nice! Chromie eats some damage from the Tyrael explosion, but that's Tyrael gone for the second time. As a side note, by the way, we have currently 80 stacks for Sylvanas. So when it comes to the baseline quest for Sylvanas, this is actually a really nice progress. 4 minutes in, sitting at 80 stacks already. That's pretty powerful. That's actually really nice. They're getting the siege giants quickly. Chromie already with the temporal loop over here. And then at the top lane, Dehaka still having his own shot. And yeah, they're just taking the next set of siege giants. We're not going to get any aggressive moves just yet. Once the objective is up again, then it's party time. And then we'll see what they can actually do here.
My beloved is gone, but his power remains. Control the shrines and make use.
They're already lining up for the next camp. I like the camp rotations from them, but they might need Chromie in the middle. Was just about to say, I have no problem with them going for the mercenary camp, but given the fact that we have a team fight in the mid lane, maybe focus on that one first, and then we're refocusing our energy on taking camps. Griffiths is starting to move in for that, gets licked instantly by the Haka, but they have taken their camp, and the problem is that the red team doesn't have anything pushing through the top lane, so for Urel, this is already a win. She's gonna have a nice position at the top side. There might be double control in the cards for the Munchies once more, especially since they now also have an experience lead with a level 10 ability as an advantage. And that's likely another Dragonite, if they can just zone a little bit for Valeera or whoever might channel here. So Valeera going into Cloak of Shadows. Tyrael looking for the interrupt, and it's too late! Dragonite taken again! Good shove from Stukov, and then he even ate a grenade or two for the Dragonite attempt. And now they're having Siege Giants at the bottom of the map. They got Dragonite number 2 this time at the 6-minute mark. It's kind of insane. Think about this for just a second. 6 minutes in, second Dragonite for the blue team. At the 6-minute mark. That's crazy. So they're instantly going for that 4, doing as much as they can here. The Haka is now even pushing down to the bottom of the map. Valeera with another attack. Has to cut out here. And has still her ult available too. Judgment! And a nice save from Garrosh. Garrosh making the dream work. But then he gets targeted and killed. The problem is that while Garrosh finally falls, Tyrael gets also eliminated. Valeera with another kill here. And I gotta give it a stab kill. That's a lot of damage. 11,000, not quite reaching the numbers that we're seeing from Chromie. But still, that's 2 Dragonites, lots of damage, lots of sneaky little moves. And they're getting another kill thanks to her. So the combos that we're getting from Valeera at this point are worth a lot. Nice! Beautiful! That one was sexy too. And now we have Chromie here and another kill, this time against the Haka. 5 kills to 2. Yep, they're getting value. They're getting very big value out of all of this now. And they're trying for another kill, damn son. They're absolutely no chill over here. So, yeah, huge plays. Stukov with that Haka push and then the follow-up from Chromie and Valeera. And now they are just jumping down to the bottom of the map. Take the fort out. 7 minutes in. First fort gone. Urel working the structures in the middle. Has destroyed the wall with a rotation between the top and the mid lane. And with level 13 talents now available, we're getting Strangle. And they are going for that Stranglehold. Anduin gets murdered. And yeah, they're getting even more damage in against Tyrael. They can't get another kill here, can they? It doesn't seem like it, but they got close. So Valeera is absolutely crushing it, and she's not the only one. Chromie with a lockdown on Junkrat, and that is kill number 7. Well done. Nicely done. And top side, Urel still looking good. They can of course go for the next Dragonite here and try to claim that. Not sure if they can though. Tyrael will most likely attempt to interrupt. And yeah, tries to. Gets attacked, but is still totally fine. And while he needs to interrupt Garrosh, that also means that he is still more at the front and gets once again taken out. So, yeah, the pressure is actually mounting up against the red team. They're having a tough time. We're in the loser's bracket already, so this is really where you have to come through or you're out of the tournament. But Haka, he's low. Gets saved for a second by Anduin, maybe even into the wrong direction as now Urel comes over and the red team is desperately trying to prevent the objective from being claimed. But now that Anduin is gone, Valeera goes for the Dragonite again. 9 minutes into the game, and it is the 3rd Dragonite in a row. They are crushing this. They're currently going through the Quack team like hot butter through cheese. Just absolutely destroying them, melting the opposition away here. And we see that again as Tyrael dies for the 5th time. So yeah, he's going down. Blue team with a big hot butter through cheese plays. Still hot butter through cheese merch in the shop. We actually added some Nations Cup merch as well for the upcoming tournament. If you're watching this on YouTube, there are links in the description if you want to check that out. But in this case, they're not running around with a t-shirt or a mug, but instead they are making the hot butter through cheese plays as they're now melting everything away. And that includes the Haka. That is 11 kills against 2. Absolute brutal. They're going for another kill. Tyrael, he's just an oversized minion at this point. I mean, he seriously is. He brings absolutely nothing in here. It's a little bit of a trollolololol party as they are just taking one hero down after the next, obliterate a couple of structures and get ready for the next big push. So the team has to slowly fall back here. But yeah, 6 deaths on Tyrael. It's starting to get nasty. This is a little bit, it's looking a little bit like a speedrun. Maybe not the fastest speedrun that I've seen so far, but they are absolutely playing them to the wall. So yeah, pretty big plays. By now, we're having the attack on the camp. Yeah, Brahms is sitting here as well, trying to anchor that. No level 16 talents. I am actually flabbergasted that they're trying to fight into this. But they are. 16 talents aren't there. The choke point, maybe they can control that. Instead, Tyrael gets attacked again, gets flipped around, still waiting for his ability, and gets killed once more. They're starting to split immediately, get some explosion value. The camp at least was taken, so that's how they started to capitalize on that. Tyrael got chased, so at least they got the camp. It's a bit of a trade. But Tyrael is exploiting his trade a little bit too hard for my tastes here. And Chromie already has access to her level 20 talent, of course. 37 stacks on her level 1, and we're now getting the Piercing Sands. 150 stacks for Sylvanas, still 100 short, before she gets the first quest reward for herself. And yeah, things are wild here. Things are absolutely wild. Top side is where we're getting the next shrine controlled, and this time Urel wants to have a Dragon Knight too. 12 minutes in, and it is the 4th Dragon Knight for the Munchies. 4 Dragon Knights in a row. Still the next attack happening. 3 versus 5 for a little bit. There's a punt, and the end of Junkrat. Junkrat down, Tyrael down. Yes, the team is falling apart here. They don't really have anything. The only thing that stands between the Munchies and victory is honestly the death timer. And as it keeps rising, we are going to see more and more of a lead for the blue team. Unless there's an absolute miracle, this is nearly impossible to come back from. The keep is now going to fall. We have not only a 15 kill gap, but also a 3 level gap between the teams, as the core is getting, targeted. They're targeting the core. Sylvanas is gone. I mean, obviously at this point, resistance is essentially futile. They're going full Borg on this one. Jean-Luc would be proud. Topside forward is destroyed, and yep, that's game. That is game, and damn, what a statement by the Munchies here on Dragonshire as they lock in the lead in the best of 3 series. GG.
We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series.
Map number 2, we're going to Brax's Holdout. So, blue team had map choice and decided that they want to duke it out on Braxis. Not really your typical map. Most of the time it's actually getting banned. But interesting nonetheless. So I really want to see how the Munchies are going to play, you know. They made a statement in game number 1. I mean, damn son, that was something. They controlled Dragonshire from start to finish. And it didn't really leave the Quack team any opportunities there. So for the red team, that was a very hard-fought battle, and they never had any chance of getting into this. Now, one of the reasons is obviously also the way that they played around Valeera. I highlighted a bit earlier how Stab Stab Kill is a massive Valeera fan, and I think she is still his most played hero by far. So the team has obviously over years adapted to that playstyle too, and they are working really well with that. And Quack Team just, they failed to shut it down. They had huge problems with it. I think the last time actually that I saw them played, I might be mistaken here, but I think they played Tyrael plus Valeera and then went into Judgment combos that Valeera could then follow up on. Bit of a different story here. Now, when we're heading into Braxis, the 10 heroes that have been played on the previous map can obviously not be played again, which means that Valeera is also out, but others that we've seen is also Maiev, so that's a potential early pick that we could get here for Braxis. She would fit too. Typically, you still have that 1-4 split on the map, sometimes with a Zarya combo, but if you play heroes that can traverse terrain easily, Genji, Karazim as a support, couple of others, you can always move between lanes quickly. So there's different ways to approach it at the end of the day is what I'm trying to say, and we'll see what the teams choose here. Oriel first pick. Okay, I'm curious. This is not going to be some Cho'Gall comp. On Braxis? Kinda interested. There's Maiev. Again, she doesn't surprise me at all. I already talked about her a second ago. But Oriel as a first pick here is definitely not what I thought we would get. And there's very few reasons to get Oriel first. So either this is really just straight down the line a preference pick, or there's a reason behind it. Alright, Gul'dan and Diablo. So apparently they are just trying for the combo here. It's not some kind of 4D chess play where they want to go for Cho'Gall. They start with Oriel and then lock Cho'Gall in together with it. Definitely was a moment where I was like, okay, are they actually going to try and do it? And the answer is no. So they're going for a normal composition here. We have Gul'dan for really nice wave clear, so this is going to help them. And then Diablo at the front. Gul'dan is going to be the hope generator for a while too. But still, interesting to see that they prioritized Oriel this heavily. And let's see how the Munchies are going to do this now. Problem with Cho'Gall would have been if Maiev is there, this gets a 2-for-1 value immediately. It's one of the reasons why you sometimes also see a Nubarak being banned when Cho'Gall is being picked. Which these days is a lot more often, especially when we're talking about the amateur scene. But hey, we'll see. So, Hogger for the top lane. Maiev will rotate over a couple of times, I would assume. And then we get a ban on Tychus. Mainly protecting Diablo here, of course. Ana, quickly locked in. No time wasted. Can get... Well, you could go Nano Boost, but you can also go Eye of Horrors. You have then at least a tool that can help you cross-map. Depending on how they want to split this. Muradin together with it. Another one that can traverse terrain. So, once more, we have now Maiev and Muradin that can easily traverse terrain. So, this helps a lot. Whereas for the red team, we kind of know what their bot lane is going to look like. We don't know yet who they're going to pick for the top lane to deal with Hogger. Always assuming they're going for a traditional 4-1 split and are not trying to split 2-3, which is less likely. Genji and Malthael. So Malthael for the top lane. Genji can help out a couple of times. He's mainly going to be at the bottom of the map. And that leaves us with the final pick. Quick reminder, we're in the losers bracket. So if the Quack team loses on Braxis, they drop out of the tournament. We're currently still in play with 8 teams at the tournament. They would be the first one to be eliminated here. The Munchies, they have the opportunity now. They got the 1-0 lead. They could make this a quick 2-0. Can they, though? Or will game number 3 be forced? Kel'Thas, the final pick. We're going to get some mage action and somebody for Ana to potentially boost. We're getting to game number 2. Braxis, hold out. It's time for Braxis! Munchies against Quack Team, map number 2. On the left, Ana, played by Mikaku. We got Brahms on Muradin, Mia on Kel'Thas, Griffiths is playing Hogger, and we got Stab Stab Kill on Maiev. Over on the right side, down one map in this best of 3 series, we have the Quack Team in red, with Valeera on Diablo, Bitters on Malthael, we got Saren on Oriel, Asway on Gul'dan, and then Angois on Genji. Can the red team bring this one back? This is the big question here. Can they force game number 3 and redeem themselves for Dragonshire? Or is this going to be an easy victory for the Munchies as the blue team comes in and just simply dominates to get the series with a 2-0 and move on to the lower bracket? That's the big question right now. At the bottom of the map, we have the typical 4-man for the blue team. Hogga playing it very, very slow at the top. Malthael is just sitting in the shadows there, but Genji was close by. And yeah, they're even rotating a few here. Okay, so they're rotating the heroes just simply over towards the camp, over on the right side. We're seeing the same thing happening right now. So everybody is just trying to get some additional lane pressure going at the beginning of the game. With Gul'dan going in that gold corruption, by the way. Had, of course, some different options here. We have the Pinnacle reward quest. Just generally speaking, when we're talking about the quest reward, it's really just extra sustain that you're getting, so you're not all of a sudden talking about a massive amount of damage or extra utility that you get. Lane sustain is more so the name of the game, and that helps you, but still, it's not like you get the quest and all of a sudden, you know, you just absolutely unleash on the opponent and they just lose out like crazy. So none of that happening here. Be that as it may, camps are getting eliminated quickly, and Hogga is now in a decent position at the top against Malthael. Down here, though, objective, the beacons are starting to pop up, and Muradin is the one that is trying to hold the spot. Gets a Stormbolt out, but the red team is slowly starting to, or trying to at least, to take over, and Gul'dan is a big factor in that equation. Kel'Thas is trying to counterplay that. He has more utility and has also some stuns, but the problem, of course, is that when it comes down to the just raw AoE damage, he is trailing a little bit. And Hogga won't be able to hold this. He's actually nearly going... He is going to die, I guess. Yep, Genji jumps in and still gets the kill. But the blue team, with the numbers advantage now secured at the bottom of the map, is at least able to come in and take their beacon for themselves. The problem is they can't really control this for too much longer. So that's the issue here. With Genji moving back down. Hogga can now rotate towards the top, but they're already dropping a bit low here, and I suppose we're looking at the initial progress for the Quack team. Yep, they get this all done, and the question is simply, how far can they go with it? Blue team under pressure. So for the Munchies, game number 1 was absolutely amazing, was a huge statement that they made here, but now it's all about how well can they hold their own on Brax's holdout. And to be fair to them, there are, of course, a lot of tools that will come online a bit later. Maiev in particular is going to be an absolute monster and someone to watch out for. There's 38% progress currently for the Munchies. Sorry, for Quack Team. Munchies are sitting at 6. But still, the big battle at the bottom of the map. The one we won at the top lane also still raging on. But down here, that's where the real party is. And Maiev against Genji. Muradin also jumping out. They're all retreating again. And there's the control. Quack Team with both of the beacons in their control. And now they can start to do even more damage here. So it is getting a bit difficult for the Munchies. Lots of control taken by the opponent. And it seems like this is going to be the first objective. And it's going to be a big one. At least for a second, Hogga takes over. But he's low too. Malthael is running out of mana, so all that Hogga essentially did was buy his team a bit of time to try and retake the control of the bottom beacon, but it's just not happening. So yeah, bottom beacon still under the control of their opponents. Maiev gets taken down, and that is kill number 2. So yeah, it's currently not working too well for them. Starting to become problematic, and there is a big Zerg wave now in the top lane too. Hogga alone is not gonna stop that. They need some assistance, and that comes in the form of Kel'Thas, who's sitting at 10 stacks right now. So I don't think they're going to take too much damage on the fort itself. They will hold it for now, but it is still a very, very strong push from the Quack team that they were able to set up here. And they are rewarded by a half-level lead, 2 kills to 0, an advantage in talents on level 7. So nothing too big, but, well, every little bit matters, and they might be able to snowball this a bit harder. Right now, things are looking pretty okay. A couple of camps that can still be claimed, of course. 18 stacks for Gul'dan. He's also not going to be too sad about that. That's decent progress. With level 7 talents, we now have Skullcracker, and we're getting the Burnt Flesh, for example. So, Burnt Flesh for Kel'Thas. They have a lot of CC tools. If you can use those CC tools properly, then you are gonna be in a decent spot no matter what. So that's the one thing to really watch out for. See if they can chain a Stormbolt with the follow-up Gravity Lapse. If they can make plays like that, they're gonna find themselves in a nice spot. They need to follow up with damage, of course, but they have also Maiev for an additional tether. So once they get control over somebody like Malthael, for example, they should get the kill. And right there is exactly what I talked about. We got the tether, we got the Gravity Lapse follow-up, and bam, Malthael is gone. Of course, they abandoned the bot lane in an attempt to make that work. And it means that there's free damage coming in. But this is kind of the moves that they need to make. Create some positive fights for themselves and get the kills. Gain a bit of map control here. One of the problems on Brax's Khaldor is oftentimes that you start losing control of your forts, the fountains disappear, and then it makes it very difficult for you to get any kind of beacon control in the first place, because your opponent has a retreat and you don't. So they have to try and make sure that that's not going to become a problem for them. And of course that they're not falling behind in experience. So far they're actually maintaining a lead even. Quick tether. But can they get a bit more? Beacons are coming up again. Good news for Kelthas is, by the way, that he is now done with his quest already, before level 10 even hits. So that gives him a lot of survivability. It's actually really, really nice for Kelthas. Normally you really want to complete that quest before your opponent hits level 10. And level 10 is just a massive power spike, especially if your opponent targets properly against a single hero. And Kelthas is still on the squishy side. So if he has his Mana Addict done and gets the shield, that's always a win. Yeah, tether potentially. Going again for Gul'dan. Dropping him low over here. But not able to do enough. And Genji is taking control. They have the double beacon control any second. Oh, they had, if they didn't realize that. So Genji eats some damage. Gets a sleep dart too. Maiev also wants to be aggressive. And they get another move from Kelthas against him. So, not bad. But I'm not sure they can hold this. There's of course still the living bombs that are getting spread here. So even more damage coming in. But they have the double beacon again. Hogga is losing the top lane against Malthael reliably. Here comes the Horrify with level 10. And Kelthas is dead. Kelthas is gone. Maiev is gone. The Quack team. They look like a different team right now. They look like a different team. They won the first objective already. And now they're on their way to get the second objective. And even without it, the fort will likely get destroyed at the bottom of the map now. So, yeah. Hogga soloed at the top. Last rights being used. Gave him the first stack. And the Munchies are in trouble. Very different game than what we saw on the first map of the series. So, absolutely brutal what the Quack team is currently pulling off here. 5 kills to 1. Another objective. Huge wave coming through the bottom of the map. Top lane, somebody should really try and hold this, but nobody is defending there. They are relying solely on that tiny wave. They really want to prevent losing too much at the bottom of the map. So they leave Malthael alone at the top lane. That's going to cost them some as well over there. Phoenix is out. Lots of AoE now coming through, of course, too. Maiev just getting the damage in as well. Then you have also Hogga the entire time, but Malthael is all alone on the top lane, is now starting to attack the structures. Muradin, I mean, zoning Stormbolt, I guess. That one was very optimistic. They're trying for Genji, who is absolutely unimpressed. X strikes out for a second. They could still go for Diablo here, I guess. The Stormbolt is in. But, yeah, there's another Horrify, and all of a sudden the fight gets shut down. Genji hearths out, and Malthael realizes that he needs to back off too. Lots of damage done on that fort, on the other hand. More than 50% of its HP gone. And that is a level difference between the Munchies and the Quack team. Impossible to come back? For sure not. Difficult? 100%. You bet. This is going to get tricky. Teams are now on level 10 and the dynamic has not really changed whatsoever for the blue team in the last fight, and that is an issue. If after level 10 they would have been able to do a bit more, that would be amazing. But, yeah. At this point we're now having all the way up the top side. Betters starting to move in, obviously hoping to get that tether against him. But, yeah, they need something here, and so far they haven't found it yet. They haven't found the answer. We have 22,000 damage for Maiev, 20,000 also for Hogger. If Maiev can maybe become... come in and make the difference, that would be nice for them. Avatar for Muradin. Yeah, Hogger gets a bit of a push out. Has to move away from Genji. The red team is actually getting very aggressive with that level 13 talent advantage that they have. So, yeah, they're doing what they can here. We have Hogger down at the bottom of the map. 33,000 for Gul'dan now. 23,000 for Maiev. They need somebody to step it up. Wait until you have a level 13 talent and then make the plays. Gul'dan, by the way, with insane stacking. He's at 41 stacks now. He's basically done with his level 1 quest. The old quest, you would have completed it right here, right now. Got the synergy for level 16 that you're normally looking for. So, yeah. Really, really good position for him to be in. Can he complete the pinnacle reward? Maybe. Does he need it? We'll see. Boss is obviously up as well. Has been for a while. Nobody thought it was a great idea to move in for it. But the beacons are now getting activated again, and the blue team is at least trying to take control over the top. Okay, Malthael. There's everything on him. And he's still alive. Ridiculous. Malthael still alive. Oh boy. I thought that maybe they could get the kill here, but here comes the last rites, and bye-bye. Hogger and Kel'Thas are both dead. The red team is brutalizing them, and now with the 5 versus 3 on the map, they're coming in for the boss. That was rough. When they had Malthael with the Stormbolt, I really thought all of them just jumping on him, they could kill him quickly, and it just didn't work out that way. Instead, Malthael got saved, and the entire fight flipped against the blue team. They lost 2, and now, of course, they're also losing Maiev. This is where hopes and dreams die, ladies and gentlemen. Horrify, Muradin gets caught, they want the kill, there's the wall stun, and he's gone. Not only is the boss going to destroy the topside fort, but on top of that, we're also going to have another objective for the Quack team. Red team is pulling so far ahead, it's just crazy. More than a 2-level lead already. And it's, by the way, a top lane. They could go for the core here. The keep is gone. With not only the boss, but also the objective now pushing, this keep is gone. They need to continue applying pressure here. They could get core damage in, for sure, especially if they are able to get kills here. And well, they have them already. 3rd stack for Malthael. Last rites was in there somewhere. Not that it was needed. Now Ana is dead. That's just game. That's just game right there. The keep is already gone. We're going for a speedrun on this one. Game number 3 is inevitable. Muradin is dead. You have 12 kills to 1. Boy, did the Quack team get mad after game number 1. They got mad for sure. And those are some mad skills as well. Game over. GG. Quack team takes the victory. Defeats the Munchies on Braxis, and we are headed for the 3rd game of the series. Well done. Coming up next, we have game number 3 for you guys. Before we go, a big shout out to everybody that is supporting the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene live with all of the events and tournaments that we're hosting, then please consider to check out patreon.com/Khaldor and support the channel there. It's the best way to support all of the things that we're currently doing for the scene and plan to do in the future. With that being said, enjoy the next game of the series. Okay, game number 3. Honestly, after the first map, I didn't really think that we would go to a 3rd game, but hey, all here for it. The Quack team got mad and got good all of a sudden and decided that they would speedrun Braxis Holdout, which would, by the way, the map choice of their opponents of the Munchies. So, just saying. And now we are going to the 3rd and final map of the series here in the losers bracket. So, the one thing that is kind of important to note here is that obviously we had 20 heroes that were played that cannot be played again, so that limits the pools a bit more. With Valeera and the comp that they felt very comfortable with, the Munchies just absolutely obliterated their opponents on the first map, but then on Braxis, everything went completely awry. So now that we're heading into the 3rd map, this is going to decide which team stays in the tournament and which team is going to drop out. Li Ming gets banned. Hanzo should still be available, I believe. I don't think he has been played yet. We have Greymane as another nice immortal damage tool. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe an opportunity. Falstad obviously getting banned as usual. And maybe an opportunity for one of the teams also to give themselves a bit of a handicap. To be fair, Artanis, I think the one time that we saw him today, he actually won. As I say always, though, you win despite picking Artanis, not because you picked Artanis. So, yeah, there's that. As usual, I have my eyes a little bit on Stab Stab Kill to see what he's gonna do. BOE, ban on Jojo, not really all that typical, but considering that preference picks are pretty important, this is another one. We get Blaze as our first pick, and let's see what the red team takes. Normally I would expect a damage dealer here. Done that many good heroes around. Well, actually, that's not quite true. There are quite few heroes around that are very good against the Immortal. Vala, one of them. Could have gone Jimmy as well. Again, we talked about a couple of the alternatives already. With Hanzo, for example. But Vala now in the house. And we get ETC. Actually, I think... Wasn't Vala... sorry, not Vala. Wasn't Hanzo played in game number 1 on Dragonshire? Wasn't that the one kill where Sylvanas went too deep on the bot lane and then we had the Entomb and the arrow came in from above? I think that was a Hanzo game. I just can't remember 100% if it was this series or a different one. But that was, I believe, in game number 1. So yeah, so Hanzo would be out in that case. We have Rhaegar. Teams obviously have a sheet for that, so they can actually double check that pretty quickly. But yeah. Rhaegar is in, we got the Wolf team, so Greymane plus Rhaegar, on top of that Blaze, one of the best, if not the best side laners that you can get here. So that's going to be quite nice for them too. And yeah, on top of that, still the final ban phase. With ETC you can create some space for Vala as well, which is of course always neat. And the one hero that they don't want to deal with seems to be Arthas. It's actually kind of interesting. If anybody would have picked Arthas, I would have expected the Quack team to try and get him against Greymane. But Blaze Arthas, I mean, I suppose the Munchies have played him in the past. In the good old days, that would have been a nice pick. And apparently, I was talking about a different series. Apparently, I was wrong, because they ban Hanzo out. So I must have mistaken that for a different series. Really? They played Dragonshire in the first one. Did they not have that? Am I blanking here? I must really mix that up with the previous series. Alright, fair enough. Be it as it may. Still, good targets, good heroes for the immortal damage. Now with Thrall, you have a fantastic level 1 quest as well. We're getting Brightwing for the heals. It's a bit of a bestiality department over here. We're getting a cow, a fruit fly, and a frog with ears. I don't know what Thrall is. I guess like an oversized pig or something. What is Thrall? If he wasn't an orc, like ETC is a cow, Brightwing is a fruit fly. If we go full Animal Kingdom here, what's Thrall? Well, Imperius, and we get Jaina. So stun into stun. Imperius with a lunge, Blaze. Imperius main tank apparently as well. Haven't seen that in a hot minute. Always actually kind of happy to see that. Those were good times, to be honest with you. I kind of like that. But yeah, that brings us in with the last pick for the red team. Second range damage, or are we going full triple frontline with ETC plus Thrall? A third frontliner might not really be a bad idea against what they're running into here. So... we get D.Va. Yep, there's the third melee. The third map, the final map. Ladies and gentlemen, who stays in the tournament, who drops out? We're going to find out now on Battlefield of Eternity. Game number 3. Munchies are tied with the Quack team, and this series, or this game, is going to decide who stays in the tournament. We got Mikaku over on the left, playing Rhaegar, Griffiths on Imperius, Brahms with Blaze, Stab, Stab, Kill with Greymane, and we got Mia on Jaina. That burst damage over here again, with those 2 stuns at the front line. Over on the right side, Valeera on ETC. We get an Arrow Vala, so very typical for Battlefield of Eternity, of course. It's going to be Monster Hunter on level 7. Virus is going to play D.Va. We got Saren on Brightwing, Angor is on Thrall. And it's time to party up over here with Maelstrom Weapon on level 1 for Thrall. Who, I'm told, since Shamans turn into wolves, would be more of a wolf. I'm actually okay with that. I think that's Rhaegar as well, so I suppose I will put the 2 of them into the same category over here. That makes the most sense as orcs, I guess. But yeah, then we had D.Va coming in and that kind of ruined all of this a little bit. Thrall already with some hits and some stacks. Yeah. If Thrall can stack, he's going to be one of the biggest problems of the blue team. Let's just be brutally honest about it. We have 2 quest heroes on the side of the Quack team. We have Vala with arrows, and we have Thrall with Maelstrom Weapon. Maelstrom Weapon triggers at 25 and 55, and if you make it to 55, that damage output on a single target is brutal. Absolutely brutal. So if the 2 of them can stack well early on, then the Munchies are in for a very rough late game, so they gotta be careful around that. And so far, Thrall is doing okay. 5 stacks. Ooh, I say that, and then he dies. Blue team takes the camp and a double kill. And oh my god, ETC. He's hovering. Jesus, is it you? Hovering above the ground. They kicked him over and hell wouldn't accept him. He is too pure. Could take a bath every now and then, I suppose. I mean, he definitely smells, but ETC, he couldn't get dropped down all the way. No, he stayed right there on the edge. We got 5 stacks for the Maelstrom Weapon now. 6 stacks for Vala. So she gets the points in as well. It's pretty decent actually for the early game, but them losing 2 of their heroes comes obviously with a problem in experience points. So already we have an advantage for the Munchies when it comes to the XP lead. And nice damage through Griffiths at the top, who's by the way now being played more as a side laner. So I guess we're having a Blaze main tank instead. I really expect that Imperius to play the role of the main tank, but right now they're sharing the duties up at the front, and we have Brahms in the 4-man. So all the way down at the bottom of the map. So both of the teams are going straight for it. Level 4 talents are kicking in a little bit later, of course, for the Quack team. With that, we're having repeating arrows, so Vala still with more chances to actually stack. And they also claim another camp at the top lane before the objective is up on the map and running. And try to amplify that damage through the camps a little bit further. So that will force the blue team to react there for sure. But they're already on the lane, and they're instantly getting big damage in on the Shaman camp. So that is quite strong. They took this out with ease. And Greyman at the bottom of the map might actually be able to get some damage in. There's only D.Va defending currently. But yeah, they're already in position right there. 9 stacks now for Thrall. Given all the Thrall performances that we've seen so far, this is one of the better ones. We haven't seen that many big brawls, but Thrall is working the auto attacks in when he can, and is getting some value out of it. So if he makes it to 55, as I said before, this is going to get rough. Gets a couple of stacks in on his level 4 once again. They're trying to make the approach right here. Sits at 11 now on level 1. And they're dropping Greymane a little bit low. So nice damage. Chase them off completely. Vala is at 11 stacks now as they are focusing their own attention onto the Immortal. So despite the 2 early game kills that we saw for the Munchies, blue team has not taken too much control of this yet. And they are losing the halftime show. Halftime show victory is going to go to the red team. Yeah, they can get a little bit more done here. Thrall playing the slow, trying to connect another wolf here too, sitting at 3 stacks currently. Full on zoning, but no real value from the explosion that we just got from D.Va. But Vala, for example, is sitting at 13 stacks, so this is already a nice buffer at the early game. Once she has level 7, it's going to be real neat to go for the next Immortal. They're not quite there yet, but they're taking, again, the lead with Vala getting the damage in over on the right side. Blue team might be able to burn this down, though. They are attacking it with the 5-man way faster. But, yeah, it is the Quack team, after all, that are getting the first Immortal. It's not really a big shield, though. So very small shield that they're able to get. Thrall, he reset his quest on level 4. And is now back to 2 stacks. We still have a small experience advantage for the Munchies. And the objective is going to move through the bottom of the map. As we're having, for example, Holy Fervor here. For Imperius. Purification on level 7 for Rhaegar. And off we go. A little bit of wall damage. Probably all that they can really get here, realistically. They're getting the Elemental Assault. Yeah, get that wall destroyed. Take the towers down. Maybe the gate. And see what you can do. But once again, quest completed for Thrall. Nice. Works in a couple of auto attacks too. Not too many, but that's 2 additional stacks and brings him closer to the first quest reward. And Vala has her level 7 now and sits at 15 stacks, but gets targeted and taken down. Greymane, Blaze both jumped in, and Blaze with the final hit here. So nicely done. Oh, ETC! He nearly died. Very, very close call for him. Still, he made it. That's the important part, of course. So by now we got 3 kills to 0 for the blue team. So red team got the objective, but they're now a level behind and they haven't gotten a single kill yet. Nothing really to be worried about yet, but the advantage that is being built up by the blue team is significant. So the scaling really needs to lead somewhere. Pretty numbers and things are nice, but you need to do something with them. And Thrall is still 12 short, for example. I mean, he slowed down a little bit. He had some pretty nice moments very early on, and then in every single encounter it was essentially only 2 stacks. Sometimes a little bit less that he was able to get. So they need to get him to the first quest reward as a minimum, and then try to use that, leverage that to get to the second. Once that you have the movement speed increase from the Wind Fury, then you are obviously in a position where you can also latch onto a target a little bit better and get more stacks in. 17, talking about stacks for Vala. But he has a level 10 ability, and that's the problem. We get the ring once again. It's not a few times in play for them already. And here comes the Immortal, and good luck fighting that if you're the Quack team. You need that half level, you need to soak that somehow. And that's where D.Va at the bottom of the map is of course going to play a role, and the rest of the team up here at the top. So they're trying to get that quickly. But the halftime show is already over. Halftime show is done. And that's a big win for the Munchies. Yeah, again. Thrall, a few more hits. Vala the same, sitting at 20. And now that they have level 10 talents, this is where Vala can really show her skills. We get Thrall with Sundering. If you get Sundering and you get good stacks on your level 1 and the second quest reward, you can nearly easy solo kill targets. So yeah, they gotta play with this just a bit. Ancestral, saving the targets here for now. ETC going in deep. Thrall at 20 stacks now, 5 shy of the quest reward, but he gets targeted, locked down, and killed. Thrall is down. Vala is just not in the spot where she can get towards the Immortal. So they might have to give this one up. Blue team is defending well. They shielded the Immortal nicely from all incoming damage. And what makes matters worse for the Quack team is that the blue team is still refusing to die. Not a single kill here. Vala's now at 25 stacks. As I said before, her damage output is extremely neat against the Immortal already. But it didn't help them in this case. The shield is massive right now. This is likely going to cost the Quack team a fort. Which would then be the first one in the game that gets destroyed here. Thrall at 18,000 damage. Vala top damage at 30,000. But they go for ETC here. Slides out. The Immortal with some solid damage. And honestly, can they even get ETC here? Brightwing is trying to come in and help out. But they're now all in the choke point. They gotta be careful with that. And instead maybe focus on the structures themselves. Because the shield is now removed. The shield is gone. But they are still getting nice damage in. Vala is trying to stop this with one arrow salvo after another. But the fort will indeed fall. And Imperius, by the way, is still at the bottom of the map. So this is still a 4 versus 5 now that we have D.Va arriving. Here comes the ring. Vala is down. They get another kill. Kill number 5. The Munchies with big value, even breaking through the wall at the keep as Imperius is at the bot lane starting to destroy that bottom fort. So he is getting value for the team, experience and more structural damage as they are still fighting at the top and they should be able to get out here. But the mosh pit, is that going to be enough to take down Blaze? I kind of doubt it. Bunkers it up, still at the cooldown. Imperius has even more time, and they're slowly starting to retreat here. Greymane, though, is getting body blocked. Greymane gets body blocked, gets locked in, wants to get away, another heal, and the Sundering finishes the job. Finally a kill for the Quack team. Finally they get a kill. Thrall is at 31 stacks, so he has his first quest reward now. So this is helping him immediately. I mean, he jumped up by 11 stacks through that, which is nice. But it doesn't change the fact that they lost 2 forts. Both of their forts are gone. Vala's at 30 stacks. So, again, they're stacking nicely. The progress on the quests is great. And it will make for a very strong late game. But the Munchies are obviously pushing this. 2 forts destroyed with the first objective that you win. That's pretty impressive. That's solid. That's very, very nice progress. And this is going to make it very, very difficult for the Quack team. They are attacking at the top as they see an opportunity with everything that they have, trying to get some damage in on the fort. But the flank is coming. Both teams are on level 13 talents. So I guess they're going to be fine going for a fight. Oh, no! The jet propulsion completely missing. The ring on point, though. Sundering is out again. They're trying for Brightwing. They're trying for the rest of the team. And the Fruit Fly is dead. And so is Vala. That's 3 heroes down. That flank murdered them. Absolutely murdered them. So, by now, we're having the next set of Immortals up on the map, and it's going to get harder and harder for the red team to make a comeback, given how things are currently looking. By now, they're coming through for the Immortal. They're going to get the halftime show here, obviously. And, yeah, good luck trying to turn this around now. It's not impossible, but it's still going to be difficult. We have ETC and Thrall both still looking at the edges to see what they can do here. It's a 5 versus 5. No talent advantage yet, but the camp has also been taken and set onto the lane at the bottom of the map. Lots. If you look at the damage numbers alone, the red team is just so far ahead, it's crazy. Both Vala and Thrall are way ahead of anyone else on the blue team, for example. But they just can't get the kills. Not yet. Maybe now. There's the slide. Trying again for Imperius. Where's that wolf when you need it? The ring, not doing anything. Ring did nothing. There's the mosh pit. And Thrall with big damage. This time Jaina is out. Killed by Diva then too. And they get a few more arrows connected. Now the chance, maybe, just maybe, to take that Immortal for themselves. Top lane is getting attacked though. Catapult's already in play. Down at the bottom of the map we have the Shaman camp that Diva is now taking care of. But Vala can easily go for the objective. And the arrows are racing this down quickly. Thrall again trying to get away here. Comes back out and looks also for some kills. 16 talents now give another advantage to them. Vala is joining the fight too. Not focused on the Immortal anymore. The Ancestral in time. Good job by Rhaegar. Saving Imperius. But they're losing Greymane. And now they're losing just more and more ground here too. So there is still the chance for a comeback for the Quack team. They've lost a lot of ground, obviously, and they're still in danger of losing even the Immortal here. But they have a shot. And, yeah, they're trying to do what they can, slow them as best as possible, but the Immortal is taken. Can they get another kill, though? Ice Block used very early. Yes, the ring and a full-on connect with more or less the entire team, but just not enough to get a kill. 36 stacks for Thrall, 35 for Vala. Both of them looking very, very good here. Jaina with 31,000 damage. Greymane on 32,000. Not anywhere near of what we're getting for the red team. But how much can they do with that Immortal? Question should be not enough. Jaina is still dead. And yeah, look how quickly the arrows are just burning this baby down. Crazy. Vala is insane. Vala is insane against the objective with her arrow build. Walks into the stun, but again, job already done at that point in time. So winning the Immortal did very, very little, if anything, for the Munchies. This is for all the marbles, by the way. I mean, this is for the win. Which team stays in the tournament? Which team drops out? Blue team dominated the early game. They had 8 kills to 0. Now they're trying to get aggressive down here. We saw some at the top lane at least, but also their fort is under pressure. They just attacked the keep a little bit. ETC is trying to force that fight. Yeah. This could get nasty. Vala is, by the way, also spec'd into Seething Hatred. So, really just trying to get the entire arrow build as strong as possible. Not even using Manticore for this. Just deciding against it from the start. And yeah, Thrall missing that connect. Still works a couple of auto attacks in. There's the mosh pit, and Imperius is gone. So is ETC though. They dove behind the fort, and now they're losing ground, and their fort is helping out. Yeah, you need some minions there or something, boys. You can't just simply dive it without anything to assist you. That's Brightwing gone. That's Diva gone. It's a 5-man team wipe. Huge play for the Munchies. And honestly, they kind of killed themselves here. They dove way too deep in that situation, and now they're getting punished for it. And you can actually tell that the Munchies are looking at this and they're saying, boys, push, 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 push. We've been losing every single fight in the last couple of minutes. We need to make sure that we're getting massive damage in as quickly as possible while we have that opportunity. And they take the keep out. So now they still have an objective that they can go for. Core would have been a bit too much. That's something that you just can't get that easily. But now they're going for the objective, and this might actually help them to take a second keep out. So that's, yeah, an opportunity here. But okay, either way, through that last fight, 44,000 now for Jaina. 51,000 for Vala, and they take the 50% here. And they also take the mercenary camp. So right now, it's back to the good old fight. They have a 1.5 level lead. They are closing on a level 20 talent. So honestly, the Quack team just gave them a huge opportunity to get back into the series. If not for that, I would have said the Quack team is slowly but steadily starting to take the game. They were still behind overall, but they were just doing better and better and better in every single fight. And then they just YOLO'd in the way that they did. Lost the entire team. Huge amount of opportunity and window for the Munchies, and they used everything that they could. So now there's a big wave at the top, down at the bottom. Can the blue team break through it? They're trying, but here are the Storm Talents. Storm Talents are in. Diva still alive, and we got Cold Snap. Double connect from Vala. The Mosh Pit is in. Ice Block. Ice Block from Jaina. She should have maybe waited with this a little bit longer. Falls, but so does Thrall. Thrall is dead too, so is ETC. Vala, she won't be able to escape here. Vala's trying to get away, no chance, gets stunned. Jet propulsion hits, and that's 3 down on the side of the Quack team. And by the way, the shield on the core is already about to fall. So here's the call now. Go for the core or go for the immortal? Which are they going to take? And the call is core, clearly. Shield is already falling on the core. Topside keep has taken damage earlier. Brightwing is the only defender, and even the 2 catapults are still in. The Quack team, they fought extremely well, but then mistakes towards the end of game number 3 seal the deal. The Munchies take the series with a 2-1 victory as they claim Battlefield of Eternity, and they move on through the losers bracket. GG.